Hello. Thank you for having
Hi,
me.
Joey.
So good, so nice. I just want to ask, is there any way you can explain the 442? I know you say the 442 is very, very good system to use, but I find it very challenging. Sometimes I cannot make it work properly. I know you can do it. I've seen some of your 442 systems. They look very interesting.
That's what we're going to do on today's show. We're going to take a look at the 442, the various combinations that are possible with the 442, and I mean, there are so many, okay? Yeah,
Yes.
that and more coming up. My name is Daljit. Welcome to the show. It's a good thing Joey's gone. There isn't enough space on the show for the two of us. Yes. Creating Tactics is a series of shows that I started. Basically, the idea here is to try and help you, right? Make tactics by understanding some fundamental things very quickly. We began with players, right? The right kind of players that you need to use in order for you to control space. The second episode, I defined that space. On the third episode, I started taking a look at traits and how some traits can affect your tactics in a positive or a negative way. And then we started building tactics. And in those shows, I started explaining combinations, like different kinds of combinations and how they can be set up. So the first show we did a 4-3-3, and then we looked at a 4-2-3-1 and various combinations. For that, in fact, we did 6 tactics in 2 shows. On today's show, we're going to take a look at the 4-4-2 and the various combinations that are possible with a 4-4-2. If you want to be good at Football Manager, master the 4-4-2 in its various permutations. You're going to have lots of options when you play the game. The most important thing that you need to understand is the center of the pitch. This is the zone where you really want to find at least one great player to help you defend that zone, or you can get away with 2 average players who have both got good positioning and decent off the ball. Generally, one needs to be a bit of a ball winner and the other one can be a bit more creative. The idea here is for you to try and be able to defend the center of the area with these 2 players. The 4-4-2 is a good system for most sides. For lower league sides, they can turn this into a counter-attacking system, playing with a middle block or a slightly low block, and then depending on 2 strikers up front for most of the breakaways. You can modify this into a 4-4-2 DM, which is something that I generally recommend for most lower league sides. I have used a 4-4-2 DM since the days of Championship Manager to get myself out of the relegation zone. Easily one of the best tactics in the game. On today's show, the permutations are endless, and I'm not going to cover all of them, otherwise this show will never end. So we're going to look at congesting the middle of the pitch, something that Ralph Hasenhüttl does. We're not going to replicate his system entirely, that's not possible. And instead, what I'm going to do is take ideas from different kinds of managers and show you how the 4-4-2 can play. We can go old school, winger-based attacks. We can congest the middle of the pitch, creating problems for defenses. And yes, 3 different tactics for you. The first permutation of a 4-4-2 is going to use roles and duties like the inverted wingbacks, because these players can sit in the half spaces. They're going to push forward and sit in front of the 2 central defenders. The 2 midfielders in front are chosen specifically because one is going to attack going forward. The other one will be roaming, so there'll be enough space for them to explore the final third. Finally, down the flanks, 2 wingers on attack who are going to become goal scorers in their own right. They will be wide and unmarked most of the time. Finally, up top, the complete forward who roams from position and the advanced forward. A really good combination as well for a 4-4-2. When you look at the team instructions for this tactic, you understand that it's a very aggressive system. We are playing very high up the pitch, and we are also using 2 wingers on attack to apply pressure on opposition fullbacks. This is going to make it really hard for them to come out and attack us as well. Naturally, the challenge for any system like that is defending your flanks, because when you congest play in the center of the park using 2 inverted wingbacks, the flanks become very vulnerable. You definitely need players with very good footballing intelligence and physical attributes to defend those areas. The next 4-4-2 is a bit old school, and It reminds me of days when Sir Alex Ferguson managed Manchester United. We had David Beckham who'd come into central midfield, play those deep diagonal balls that he was famous for. Ryan Giggs just bombing down the flanks. Well, this again is not a replication of that tactic. He just takes some ideas from there and applies it to the game of Football Manager. Here we have a 4-4-2. I call this old school now. It's different, right? It's been set up to be played in your half. Essentially, you're drawing teams in and then trying to hit sucker punch them as quickly as we can. And we don't want to just give the ball away, because that's possible if you use ball playing defenders or central defenders and even a sweeper keeper. Here I'm using only a goalkeeper. We've got fullbacks. Again, this is a tactic once more that uses minimal PIs. The only PIs are on the wide midfielder because I want him to sit narrow and get further forward. When he sits narrow, he moves into this position and there is vacant space for the fullback to bomb down the flanks. The goal here was for me to play with a player that has got switch balls toward the flank, because on the opposite flank, we got a winger on attack. So this winger is going to hug the lines. He's going to be a target for the wide midfielder. Notice there are no playmakers in the system. And we've got a target man on top with a complete forward. Why do I like these two roles? Now, the complete forward roams and also holds up the ball. The target man holds up the ball and he can be a target for the fullback on attack. We can always ask him to cross to the target man. But the interesting thing about the combination of these two players is that occasionally, because the complete forward also has hold up the ball, sometimes he'll drop deep and he will link up play, which is actually kind of nice to see. That's down to his roam from position instruction and his hold up the ball. And this can lead to some good interplay on the left-hand side of the pitch. We've gone wide here because when you set attacking width up, you're kind of affecting the positioning of your players. And you're also trying to tell your team, hey, the focus of our play is down the flanks. And this is down the flanks. Standard and tempo. Standard passing directness and tempo. Other than that, with the goalkeeper, yes, it's a bit of Peter Schmeichel thrown in here, distributing to the flanks. Well, if you want to go to completely Peter Schmeichel, you have to throw it long. It's totally up to you. And then here we've got, when possession is lost, we don't want to counter press. We want to regroup. I'm not here to replicate Manchester United. There are many replications that we've done on our Discord channel, which look at different kinds of Manchester United systems. But this one is just a simple defensive counter-attacking 4-4-2, where we regroup the moment we lose possession of the ball and then we counter when we win the ball back. It's a very simple setup where what we want to do is hit teams on the break. If you've seen any of my shows on YouTube or you've seen some of the goals I like to link on my Discord channel, I've got a thing for the deep diagonal. So a lot of my tactics will try to incorporate them at some point or other. It's that pass from the center of midfield that just splits an entire team and sends it to the other flank for somebody to come in and score. And that's the goal of the next 4-4-2. This 4-4-2 is pretty straightforward, right? In this tactic, I really haven't given any of these tactics names. This is a controlled aggression 4-4-2. If you see the team instructions, you'll understand where I'm trying to apply my compression. Remember the second video I did on compression? I explained it all there, what I'm trying to do with different kinds of compressions. So this is a middle third compression. And we are also trying to keep the ball, right? In terms of possession, we are playing narrow. We counter press and counter. We try to keep the ball. And we also try to apply immediate pressure when we lose the ball and win the ball back. So whenever I create any kind of a tactic, I'm thinking about the routes to goal. Here, we've got a fullback on attack working with a wide midfielder. Sweet combination. Almost guaranteed to see crosses being delivered into the box. The wide midfielder has been told to sit narrow. This encourages the fullback to make a natural overlap. We've got a roaming playmaker and a wide midfielder. Route 2. They will look for players attacking from wider areas on the left side of the pitch. That's route 2. And we've got 3 strikers basically. The inverted winger, the advanced forward, the DLF. Yes, I treat this guy as a third striker because it's an attack duty. We're focusing play on the right side. He will attack central areas of the pitch. And I've done that. I told him to emphasize that a bit more. He's now sitting narrow as well. So he will look to exploit the central areas of the pitch, since there's nobody really exploiting it over here. And so he's going to come in from wider positions, and he's going to be a threat to all kinds of defenses. So my goal scoring outlets are pretty straightforward. Fullback, crossing the ball, roaming playmaker looking here, and inverted winger attacking this way. We got two strikers attacking the box. No other PIs were used in this tactic, except for these. Once again, we're going to look through all the tactics to make sure we cover all the PIs, just in case I missed any. Now, this tactic has no PIs. The half space tactic has absolutely not a single PI inside. The second tactic, control 4-4-2, does have PIs. Right, so this fullback on support doesn't have any. The backline doesn't have any. Only the white midfielder has sit narrower. The inverted winger has got sit narrower, and the rest don't have any PIs. Finally, old school. I like this tactic. Sits in a low block. And we got fullback attack. No, the fullbacks don't have any PIs. No PIs here. Winger on attack. CM on defend. CM on attack. No PIs. White midfielder. Told to get further forward. Sit narrower. So he keeps up actually with the CM on attack. And then the fullback on attack was just going to do another overlap. Then we've got no other PIs in this tactic. It's still early in the season. We're top of the table. We've done pretty well. We've been using all three versions of the tactic in different games. And we only blemish to our record was a defeat to City and then of an unfortunate draw to Liverpool. But I think that the team can certainly do well with the 4-4-2. If you want to get to grips with the game, there is no better formation to start than with the 4-4-2, because it is a system that has got so many possible permutations. Like, some people will tell you the old way of doing it was we have one defend duty, one attack duty, have a winger, have a white midfielder. Everybody has different 4-4-2s. And that's the beauty about the 4-4-2. Right? We've been replicating different versions of the 4-4-2 on our Discord channel. We've got an Arrigo Sacchi inspired 4-4-2. We got a Sir Alex Ferguson inspired 4-4-2. And there are few Sir Alex Ferguson 4-4-2s because he played the 4-4-2 in different ways throughout his career. So you see, there are so many possible ways of doing the 4-4-2. Now, I want to encourage you to try it out. I want to encourage you to use my tactics as a template and to, go out there and make tactics. I hope you enjoyed this series of creating tactics shows and I hope you found them useful. Now, the question I want to ask you on today's show is, what's the next tactic going to be? Or rather, what's the next formation? What formation would you like me to choose? And we've done the 4-3-3, we've done the 4-2-3-1, and we've now done the 4-4-2, three of the most popular formations that were asked. And let me know in the comments below, and we shall discuss the formations on the next show. I want to thank everybody for their support of the channel. It's been absolutely fantastic. Keep those comments coming in. Don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button and stay in touch with notifications, right? Follow my Twitter as well, because I stream 3 times a week here on YouTube. I sometimes do it on Twitch as well. And you can always pop in and ask questions, and I'm more than happy to change the show around for you. So you guys take care. Have a good one. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.